everybody. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Uh, we'll wait till we get a few people up in here and we will start the show. Alrighty. Let's see here. We get a few people here in. I will start doing my announcements and everything. So we will get everything ready. I like I said though, I will be investigating probably Wednesday. I'm not 100% positive. It's just according on how things goes outside, how the weather will be. So we will see about Wednesday. But there's possibility might not get to do it. They was calling for a little bit more weather. Let's see what the weatherman has to say. It is 28 outside right now. Wednesday it ain't gonna be too bad. It's gonna be 39 degrees about all day, and it's supposed to be 21 at night. Friday and Saturday we're gonna get some precipitation. Look like it might be rain this time. 44% on Saturday, so I'll be working the weekend, so that don't really bother me that much. But it'll be coming in here in a little while, I guess. So we might. It's going on how cold it'll get. They said it's going to be in the 30s, so we will see what it'll be then. And also, uh, I think I will be in February. We will be doing the 5-year celebration of C.O.P.S. That's how long we have been together, but we only been on YouTube here for about 2.5 years, 3 years, somewhere like that. So time sure does fly by fast. 21st and the 22nd, that is the celebration days that I'm going to do our celebration. 25th is our original day. It's on Tuesday, so it's going to be we're going to celebrate it on 21st and 22nd. Hey May, how you doing? Appreciate you coming in. Thank you so much. Sorry I got started a little late today. I was out working out there in the driveway trying to get my truck up and down the road, up down the driveway, so I can get out in the morning. A lot of the snow has melted over the day. I didn't realize it. The roads are pretty clean, but there's still a lot of icy spots here and there in the shady areas, so it's going to be kind of tricky in the morning getting out. Uh, I'm just writing down here in my book, y'all, so I won't forget what I was talking about. Hey, Bud Files, how you doing? Appreciate you coming in. Hey, Lisa, how you doing? Appreciate you coming in. Thank you so much. Working wild nitty. Okay, that's cool. I'm just putting things in my calendar here in my little book. If anybody wants to set a date to come on the show, schedule the time and everything like that, uh, it's totally up to y'all. Would, like I said, to talk about your show channel and stuff like that, promote your stuff out. If you have any experiences, you're more than welcome to talk about that. Uh, then March the 8th, I will be guest on another show, Living My Best Life at 60. It is at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Her name is Echo, and she is so cool. I really enjoy watching her channel when I ever get to go over there when she's live. She does a lot of interviews on her channels, and I will be doing that. And the 16th of March, she'll be on my channel. So you are good. How are you? I am doing pretty good. Thank you so much. Just trying to take a rest for today a little bit, and I got to go back to work tomorrow. Hey, Adventures Unseen, how you doing? Appreciate you coming in. Thank you so much. If any of y'all want to, like I said, let me know. I'll do all my shows on Sundays, all the interviews, or if you prefer a weekday, and if I'm off, we will do that. Uh, just let me know, and I will put you down in my little cat book and as a guest. And that's what I've been doing for the past couple of days. I don't have too many guests left. I just got 16th is my only day I got somebody coming on, so y'all are more than welcome to. Uh, hey there, Shaw Woman, how you doing? Appreciate you coming in. Thank you so much. Here's the link if anybody wants to pop up. So that's all I've got for as announcements. I did pick up this. I showed it last night, but I did pick this up a while back, and it does. This is my pendulum. It came with one, but it actually fell apart. The pendulum did, so I'm using one I've already had, and I had me a longer chain, so I made me a longer chain on it. So I did get that, and I got the book on uh, SB7s. It's got a lot of helpful information in there, so I got that. I got two of them, but I'm gonna give one a giveaway as a prize and everything like that. I'll be right back. Want to grab something to eat? No problem. Thank you so much, so much. Uh, I did get my big flag in that I was waiting on, and when I say big, I mean this big. Uh, it is a massive. It's not what I really ordered. I ordered one that said it's supposed to be printed on both sides, It's not printed on both sides. It's not got anything around the edges to keep it from fraying out. I gotta find somebody that can do that for me. Uh, it's got two of these holes in it, one at the top and bottom. Say I can fly it from a flagpole, but it wouldn't last probably 5 minutes out there in the wind. So I'm just going to use it when we do events, hang it up from the tent, and that will be better, you know. So that's really all I've got new. Yeah, that's all I've got. Yeah, it's huge. I did get Spirit Brothers made. I got him one made. I don't think I have a picture of it on my phone. I might have. Let me see right quick before I forget it. I had Spirit Brothers one made, and I was so excited because it said it's going to be double sided, uh, but it's not. This is what I had theirs made as. I'll be sending it to them probably this coming up week. Hey, good evening. How you doing? Appreciate you coming in. Thank you so much. That looks really good. Yeah, it's turned out nice, but it just wasn't printed on both sides, and the fabric is not quality like they said it was going to be. So I guess you get what you pay for. Uh, this is the one I was going to have made for me, but I figure since it's like that, it might be harder for them to print. But I didn't know how it would really turn out since the others didn't turn out the way I wanted it to do. But maybe we will get something fixed later down the road that looks professional and everything. Let's see. Is anybody wants to come up and talk? I did put the link in the chat earlier. So you just let me know, or if you want to, just send me a Facebook message or email and let me know you want to be a guest on, and I'll put your rope down in my little book here. Uh, or if you got any questions for me, I'll try to answer the best way I can until somebody pops up and everything. But I don't have uh, pretty much anything for tonight. There's several other people's live right now, so we're going to be kind of skimpy coming in here tonight. My buddy Spirit Brothers, he's in bed. He's got a lot of things he got to do tomorrow. He's got to get up real early. I talked to him for probably about an hour today, and he went to bed really early. That was about 3 o'clock my time, so that was about 6, 7, 8 o'clock his time. So about 10 minutes. Okay. Thank you so much, Vicky. I appreciate you. Lisa, I am going to get some lunch. Chat later. Okay, appreciate you, Lisa. Thank you so much for coming in. You just let me know when I can get you on booked for a show, okay? 'Cause I would like to get you out there a little more, help get you some watch hours in. Hey, Sean, buddy, how you doing? Appreciate you coming in. Thank you so much. Oh, talking about my new show. I didn't get a chance to talk to Jessica SMC today. We were scheduled to talk, but she didn't get in touch with me, so she might have been busy. She does have a little extra job she does, and we're working on getting a video started for paranormal experiences. Hopefully, uh, we'll get it going here soon. Maybe next month, I guess, February. Uh, Try to do it around the first of the month each time. It's where anybody can sign up to talk about the paranormal experience, their stories that they have. You know, we'll do one big story a night, and if we had to do continue to the next show, we will. Uh, she's going to be a co-host, and I'm going to be a co-host. We're going to co-host this thing together, and she's going to help me out a lot with the technology part of it, bringing up the guests and helping me drop links and stuff like that. If we need to find something that helps somebody, she can bring it up on the screen because I don't know how to do the share screen and all that stuff. Hey PW, how you doing? Appreciate you coming in. Thank you so much. Your uncle passed away this weekend. Oh, I'm sorry, buddy. We'll be praying for you, that's for sure. We will be praying for you, buddy. Uh, I don't know what else to talk about. We do have a few other places coming up here next month. I don't know exactly when yet, but we will see. I'm still working on getting our paranormal store built up. Uh, we're going to try to do a lot of pendulum boards, pendulums, and I'm going to have like a bunch of sage and different other stones and stuff that we're going to do. Hello, Lucy. How you doing? Appreciate you coming in. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you, everyone from Native Wild Man. Shaw Woman is back. Thank you so much for being here. Uh, let's see. Uh, Vicky, I'm going to post a link again so you won't have to go all the way back to the back to get it. So that's for you, Vicky, when you decide you're ready to come up. Uh, we do have quite a bit of inventory. I got some K2s and stuff like that. We're going to work on getting our paranormal equipment store going. I do got a whole bunch of flashlights like we use for investigations. You know, the spirits can cut them on and off and stuff like that. It's not the original mag lights like you see on TV and these other shows, but these are the cheaply made, but they really work good because I use three on our locations that we go to. I've had them work on the bridge, and I've had them work at the family cemetery and the big cemetery. And I think we had them down there at the purple cemetery, and they worked on for us. So, and even in the woods that night when Gizmo went off. So we're going to try to get a little more on hand, and we're going to start doing that. I've got some other things in mind for another special show towards the end of the year. So if everybody wants to participate, it is going to be the paranormal award show. I haven't got everything fixed up with that yet, but we're going to try to do so. Anybody that wants to get in on the fun, just let me know. And if you get a evidence that you want to put on to show for you win, we will play that video of what you have won that category for. They're going to be like 4 or 5 people in that same category, and my team cannot enter because uh, I will be hosting the whole show and everything. So my team is eliminated from that. We're gonna have 13 categories. I think Spirit Brothers is going to help me out on hosting one of the categories, and different people, whoever wants to help out with that, will be just let me know. It's going to be towards the end of the year, probably around Thanksgiving or first of Christmas, before Christmas, somewhere in that area. Uh, so that we're going to try to do that. I just need some people to help me host events and stuff like that. We're going to have 13 or maybe 15. I'm not sure yet. I just need some ideas and stuff like that for each category. This October, we will be doing the scavenger hunt. Uh, Starts on October the 1st and goes all the way through Halloween. And once I get a picture of each paper back, the ballads back, I will put everybody's name in a bucket, and we will see who will win that way. That will be a cool prize, and you will get a little trophy also. So you'll get yeah, I think it might do like three first, second, third place. We might, I don't know yet. We will see how that would turn out. Uh, so we will have a good turnout for that. Uh, all right, y'all. I just got a notification. I got somebody back there in the back. Let's go check it out. Okie dokie. Hey, Vicky.
Hey,
Hey.
trying to do something with my hair, but what the heck?
I know.
No, I had my dog's not feeling good. She's got a belly ache, so I had to deal with her a little bit, and then I
Yeah.
came in here and sat down, put my legs up a little bit.
Yeah.
But no, it had been a while since I've been up. I thought I'd get up here and talk to you a little bit
Oh yeah.
about
I,
things going on.
yeah. Things have been going on around here. It's just one thing after another one.
Yeah, well, we supposed to gotten like 3 inches of snow and a little bit of ice before we got the snow, and this was, I think, last Monday, and we ended up getting more ice than we did snow. And then 2 days later, we got 5 inches of snow. In some places, it was 6 and
Yeah.
7 inches. And I was like, oh my God. So then you said you got snow and things. And
Yeah.
when I messaged you earlier, because you hadn't come on yet, and I wanted to make sure I hadn't misunderstood you.
Yeah,
And I thought, well, maybe he got more snow like we did, So
I was out there in the driveway trying to drive up down the driveway, get me some tire tracks up in there. So
get yourself out in the morning.
yeah, when I leave, my road I live on is pretty clean. Still got some spots in it, pretty rough, but uh, they don't normally scrape it too good, no how. But
Is the
driveway,
county good at all about cleaning your roads off out there?
just the main roads.
Just the main highways and
Yeah,
stuff?
my road is a secondary road, so they gonna wait and half it. They ain't gonna do too hot on that road.
Mainly be melted by the time they get around to it.
Yeah,
That's kind of how it is sometimes around here. So,
yeah, yeah. So, what have you been into lately?
well, we was supposed to had a group meeting yesterday. Um, at about 1 o'clock, we was going to start the group meeting and stuff, and then we were supposed to investigate a business last night. But with the weather being like it was, Liz and Ruben hadn't been able to get out of their house for a week.
Yeah,
I swear to God, their driveway's a mile long. I mean, and there's some hills in it and stuff. And so I was glad that they hadn't tried to get out because I was afraid, go
yeah,
off the road or something. But no, and Stephen, he lives out in the country. So, and then just the temperatures in general and the way that it was set up, we was going to have to find an outside command center, and they had a shed, and we was thinking about using it. But
yeah,
anyway, everything considered, I just contacted the owner and said, look, we just can't do this right now. We're going to have to put it off unless something bad happens,
yeah,
and we have to come in, we will. But right now, we just had to cancel. But that's one of the things we had set up. And then we had our Christmas party, the last meeting, be a couple of weeks ago. We have group meetings every 2 weeks.
yeah.
And so, yeah, that's kind of what we've been doing. We don't have a whole lot. We've been working on getting money up and together, and where we can travel next
Yeah,
year, like we had said we were going to,
yeah,
come down and see you and do whatever we can do. I really want to go to Martin's and the bridge, of course, and all that good stuff.
yeah. I will be going there, that's for sure.
Yeah,
We'll go there.
yeah.
I just want to make sure that it's going to be a good weather for us and stuff like that. Cause
Yeah, it'll probably be in the like around May or June, somewhere in there where the weather's a little bit better. And
yeah,
yeah, I don't want to ice skate anywhere,
yeah. In the last part of May, well, mid May is really nice over there.
Okay.
It's really calm weather. The wind's not blowing your hair off your head, and you know.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay. Well, that's good. I am not seeing chat, guys, so I'm sorry if anybody's saying anything, but hi.
uh, let's see here. Native said he had a spirit in his house. Cosmo was staring at something I couldn't see or sense. Oh, really?
I took a video of Maddie. Maddie is a bulldog, an old English, the short legged. To me,
Yeah.
she's an AKA pot bellied pig because that's how she's built. She has no tail. Well, actually, she does have a tail, but it's in a tail pocket. And it's when the vet pulled it out one time to check it out because she had an infection, it was
Yeah.
curled just like a pig's tail. So I swear she's part pot-bellied pig. But anyway, I took a video, and matter of fact, realized I still had it on my phone today, but she was reacting to something and growling at it. And I was saying, "What are you seeing?" And she'd look at the same spot and just growl. And that's not her. She doesn't growl, or anything.
Yeah.
Now playing, that type of thing. But this, she was kind of snarling, and she kept looking over the back of the couch, which would be behind me. Whatever it was behind me. And she wasn't having it. She was growling and carrying on at it. So, but your animals really react. If you watch your animals, you can tell if there's something there that you're not aware of, even.
PW
And
says,
Sean, I did hear John say that your uncle passed away. And I hate to hear that, hon. I hope, that the family, I'll pray for strength for the family and things.
yeah. PW says, how are you, Vicky?
Oh, I'm just here. That's just how I am. And it's, I'm trying to transfer some stuff. I've got an apothecary.
Yeah.
And I also have made, perfume and lotions and soap and stuff like that. And I had to separate because I had so much crammed into this one area. See, I make folk medicine, through with herbs and stuff. And so I had to separate. I had to separate the stuff for the perfumes and the soap and stuff and put them in a whole different area. And it opened up some room for my herbs and stuff like that. And so I've been trying to do that. And it just seems like I get started and something had happened and I have to stop. And there I'd have all this mess strung out that I drug out, trying to separate. But yeah, no, I'm doing okay. Health wise, I'm doing okay. They keep putting off my hip surgery. Now they're saying March the 5th.
Good Lord.
And it's going on a year.
Yeah.
It's going on a year. And I told them, I said, if you don't get in and do it, I'm going to find another doctor. I'm going to have to. I can't keep doing this. So.
It sounds like they need to get their ball on the roll.
Yeah, they got to do something. I mean, it's gotten to the point where I'm in pain quite a bit. I only sleep 3 or 4 hours a night if I'm lucky.
Yeah.
Just stuff like that. But I'm okay. I mean, I'm here. So, and the group, we're trying to figure out, there's a couple of places that's kind of well known, like the Brumley House. Let's see, Ghost Hunters went there, and Dead Files went there. And it's here in Missouri. It's like 40 minutes away from us.
Yeah.
And it's an Airbnb, but well, no, it's not an Airbnb. I don't think it is. Anyway, but they do ghost tours and they rent the place out of a night so you can investigate all night. They even have a bunch of equipment there. So if you want to, you can use it also. But we were talking about maybe doing something like that this winter because it's close and it's warm, inside. So we might do something like that.
Okay.
Just different ideas that we're wanting to do for Global Ghost Hunt next year. Now they're only going to do it one time next year, and that's in October.
Yeah.
So we got plenty of time between now and then to figure out some places, and you can do more than one investigation this time too.
Oh,
so yeah, you can do more than one, and they're not charging you anything. There's no sign-up fee or anything this time too. So
yeah.
So we may do 2 or 3. I don't know, at least a couple, I would say, at a minimum for them this year. But we just been kind of working on that and kind of had our own stuff, that we're dealing with and going through and things in life in general, And I don't know, I've been dealing with stuff here at the house. I live a block away from a very large funeral home, and I have stuff in and out, but here lately I've noticed a lot in my entryway. It's like they come in the front door or something. I don't
Yeah,
know, but just I see stuff and the animals are reacting. Like I told you, I had the video of Maddie and stuff, but that's all mainly paranormal around here that I've been doing. I've been having some really strange dreams, um, just bizarre ones for me.
yeah,
Trust me, they got to be real bizarre because I'm a dreamer anyway. So I've been kind of writing that stuff down and kind of analyzing it and trying to figure out what they're meaning and that kind of stuff. But
yeah.
so,
Um,
what is your plans as far as investigating in the future?
we just got some few things coming up, just little bitty things, but February we're actually going to do our 5 year celebration. The
Okay.
25th was our is our 5 year being a cops
Okay.
when we
Being
first
the group as together like you
started.
are. Okay. That's
That's
cool.
it's our 5 year anniversary, so we're gonna be doing it on the 21st and 22nd.
Now,
Um,
have you got a specific place? Are you going up there or are they coming down to you or what?
that I think my cousin was coming here. We might do the African American cemetery and the church that we went to before.
Okay.
We
Okay.
actually had some big crazy stuff happen there in the past.
I was trying to remember if I seen the African American cemetery one. I think I
Uh,
have. I think I
it
have.
I'm not sure if we did it. Oh, I can't remember if we did live there or not. Uh, I'll have to go back and check and see if we did it. I don't know if we went live. I think we did, but it was at nighttime when we did, and it was really crazy that night. We had so much going on. My cousin Shasta was the first time I seen her get spooked.
Oh, really?
Yes, there was actually horse horse hooves hitting the asphalt
Okay,
behind.
I remember you talking about that. I do remember you talking about it. No, I did not see it, but I remember you talking about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was something there that we can't explain. Um, I I'm trying to find the area right here, but I don't know if it's going to come
I
up.
didn't know whether you guys just kind of like met in the middle, so to speak, to save y'all from making the long trip one way.
No, she they don't live about 2 hours away from me, so
Well, that's not bad.
yeah, it's not really too bad. Uh, it's really pretty cool. I mean, we do go out there where they live at too, and it's just a hit or miss sometimes. Uh,
I think the first time I ever seen Shasta investigating with you was when you was out at that house and it told Joseph to settle down. I think that was the first time I seen Shasta investigating with you.
yeah, probably was. It was really uh, I don't know how to explain it. That we've been doing things there for a while, but it was just uh, that I think we've done a lot investigating together, but that's one of the first ones that everybody remembers.
Okay.
Uh, we had I can't think of the name of that one investigation that we had. Uh, God, I can't remember. Oh, it was at John Martin's at the I can't think. At the cemetery. That's the first time
Is,
she's been there.
okay,
And,
now is that where? Oh, at John Martin Cemetery, the one
hmm
John's in.
hmm
Okay, man. Now I was trying to remember which time it was that you guys. All I remember is there was like a cattle gate.
Oh, that was at the bridge.
That was that at the bridge. Okay,
Mhm. We was right
because I.
beside. We was right
Oh,
beside the bridge. Just probably wasn't about 15 seconds away from the bridge.
okay.
That's
All
why.
I remember there is what impressed me there was you was saying, I hear something off to the left. And you asked them, did you guys hear that? And you
Yeah.
said, I heard something over there. And you said to the left here. And about that time, I seen what would look like the spirit of a wolf. And all I seen was its hind end. I seen its tail, its back legs, and it walked right past you and it got to the gate and it just went right through the gate. And I remember telling you about it, John. There was a wolf. I just seen a wolf go through there.
I I think I remember you saying that because that's where we was at uh when me let's see when me and Michael, not Michael, but me and Joseph was there at one time.
Yeah, Joseph. If I remember right, at the same time, Joseph was running the rods or working the rods or something. About the time you was saying, did you guys hear that?
Yeah. Yeah, that was that same area right there. The the gate, it opens up to a, you go down through there and it, like in the sideways, and it opens up into a field
Okay.
right
To
down the.
me, yeah, I thought it was like a gate and then you'd go up to a road, is what
Yeah,
I thought it was. So,
yeah, you go down, you go to the front of the gate, little driveway type deal there, and then you go to the go down through the road and you'll come out down there into a biker field. You got to go down like a little holler, and then you'll
okay.
come into a biker field, and it's but just biker fields all the way around through there.
Okay. All righty.
I've been missing the chat here. Face, appreciate you coming in. Auntie Mama, appreciate you coming in. Uh,
Hey, everybody. I'm not in chat and I can't see chat. So I'm just,
ABD, I appreciate you coming in. Thank you so much. We got Lucy come back in here. She was here a few minutes ago. Uh, Auntie Mama, awesome lady. I really enjoyed watching her.
hello.
I believe that's all the ones that came in so far.
Okay.
What is your favorite uh place to do? I mean, like I know you do a lot of private homes and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
but what would you? I don't know how to say. Do you like? Would you like to do like cemeteries, or you just
I
like?
would do them. Usually I like to do cemeteries if there has been strange activity
Yeah,
stated going on. I do cemeteries if there's claims of witches being there. I
yeah,
try to find out if it's true, you know.
yeah,
Um, as far as just going to cemeteries all the time, I wouldn't. Now, if I have a specific reason, yeah, I'll do it, you know. Uh, but as far as going all the time, I don't because I know that there's spirit there, but I just have never had a calling for that. But yet, there's a lot of cemeteries I like. I'll see and I'll think, boy, at night that one would be interesting to go and investigate. But
yeah.
around here, any of them that's I feel is really, really interesting, you know, to investigate is out in the country, and you just don't know what's going to happen if you're out in the cemetery in the middle of the night, way out in the country.
Right
So,
there is the church, the African American church.
okay,
That's what we did that night. We was on the other side of the building, looking through in an angle to that very back window back there.
Uh-huh.
And there was something black just walk right across and block out the light, and then went on.
Oh wow. You
Uh,
remember that happened when you was at the bridge and we was all watching, and something walked between the camera and that chair because
yeah,
the chair was still there, and
yeah.
it blocked that whole chair out
Oh
when
yeah,
it walked between the camera and there. I remember when that happened. No, I definitely haven't seen the African American church and cemetery and what have you
yeah.
before. I haven't seen that. I'll have to, if you've got a video of it, I'll have to go in and watch it. I thought I had watched all of yours, but evidently I haven't.
To show respect to which cemeteries. Yeah, I'm not 100% positive, but I can't remember if I was live, but I think I was. If I wasn't live, we recorded it and put it up. So
Okay.
I'm not sure what I titled it at that time. I could have titled it something else, but
The last videos we put up, we had decided it was Ruben's birthday and we were once again having a meeting. And we had heard about a poor farm and a cemetery, and no one really knew for sure. They thought they did, and then we finally found out for sure where it was.
yeah,
And Liz went live for a while on her phone at the cemetery. Now, this cemetery, none of the graves had been marked, but somebody had a paper that told where the graves were, and they came in and they put little white crosses
yeah,
at all the graves places so people would know where the graves was. Now, the cemetery was started in the 18, I think it said 1840, I think. And some of these graves, what was kind of an eerie, gave you an eerie feeling. It was very calm for a cemetery.
yeah,
I was expecting, because of the fact it was poor farm and people that had passed at the poor farm was buried there. I figured that it would be really heavy and
yeah,
that kind of stuff, but it wasn't. But these graves, some of them was sunken in 2 and 3 feet. And you just don't know back then,
yeah,
half the time they didn't even put them in a casket.
yeah,
And it being a poor farm, there's a good chance that none of them was. You
yeah,
just don't know. But we worked the cemetery, and Liz and Stephen walked down to the house, and we figured we'd go back. It got started getting late, and so we figured we'd go back and do another look through at the house and try to do some more research on it. Um, we hadn't heard of any neglect or anything, but later on, in doing a little bit of research, someone had told me that, yeah, there had been.
yeah,
So we'll have to see. But that's the last video as far as something we did recent. That's the recentest thing we did that we put out there. And then we've been slowly going through our global ghost hunt videos and analyzing everything and doing 30-minute segments of them and showing the evidence that we got
yeah,
from the investigation. We've been posting that stuff, and we're still behind on that. Ruben works a lot and he is our main tech person, and so I mean, we do the analyzing. There's three of us that mainly three of us that does the analyzing, and then Ruben gets and puts it all together for
yeah,
us. But yeah, no, I we really haven't got any definite plans. Like I said, we even had to cancel the investigation that we had planned for last night.
yeah,
But that's what happens when you've got, 19-degree wind chills going on and 5 inches of snow on the ground. You kind of have to,
yeah. It does take a toll on the coast. Like
yeah.
I said, they're calling for some rain here next couple of I think I said next Wednesday, next Friday is we're supposed to get like 44% chance of rain, and that's gonna
Mm.
make everything rough.
Yeah, well, it got warm yesterday. It got up in the 40s, and everybody's like, "Oh, it's melting," and blah blah blah. Well, yeah, but then it dropped down to 20 degrees and 19 wind chills, and everything froze back up, and it was a sheet of ice.
Yeah.
Everything was just a sheet of ice. And now it didn't all melt either, because we still got snow out here, but it did melt a large majority of it.
Uh, Beautiful day there says there's a cemetery here that I worked on a class action because they were found to stack bodies 2 3 in one grave. Some have never been identified. It's made news here. I imagine it would be. Yeah, there's
I bet you it would be active. Yeah.
a lot of family cemeteries are like that.
Yeah.
They go back and start burying on other graves
Yep.
because that's what they did where my mom's at. I remember when we was little, we used to have to move all these little bricks out there in the cemetery while my dad and them mowed it. Then
Yeah.
that was my me and my brother's job. We move all them bricks, and I know there was about 100 of them out there. And some reason they got gone. Now they burying in them spots where the
Oh
brick.
goodness.
Yeah, and some idiot had to go out there and pick them up because they don't understand English.
Yeah. Yep. That's
Have been moved, not found, etc. Yep, it's closed due to the. Last I heard, it was open to family members still. Oh, really?
wow.
And to sell more plots and take people's money. Yeah, that's exactly what that is. And also, too, in family cemeteries, you don't have to have a vault.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Uh,
Yeah. Now, I don't know about if it's this way at all states, but I know in Missouri, if someone doesn't want to be embalmed and they don't want to go through the vault and all of that type of thing, um, I went to one funeral, and this is how I found it out. And I was like, "How is this legal?" And I looked it up, and it was legal, but within 24 hours, they have to be in the ground.
yeah,
And you don't have to be embalmed. You don't have to even, I don't know if you have to be in a coffin. This person, they had a wooden casket made, and it had been wood burnings and all this. It was really pretty.
yeah,
This person had cancer and did not want to be embalmed and did not, he said, "You know why I'm dying." So, and yeah, they put him in the ground. I think it was within 13 hours of him dying.
yeah,
So, but yeah, I wasn't aware you could do something like that. Not that I particularly would want to do something like that, but I wasn't aware you could do that. But yeah, there's a lot of things when it comes to and if I remember right, if you wanted to start now, I'm not positive on this one. If you wanted to start a family plot on your property, it has to be so many acres of land. But if you have so many people buried there, something about you don't have to pay taxes on your land
yeah.
because of it.
All right. Here in the state of North Carolina, uh, let's see. I might not. Buried on private property. It is legal to bury someone on your property in North Carolina, but there are regulations to follow. The burial must be at least 100 feet from any water source,
Mm-hmm.
at least 20 feet from property line. Uh, it's got to be local zoning laws and homeowners uh, association regulations. It has to be at least 3 acres inside,
Something like that here.
uh, enclosed by a fence or marked by permanent boundary markers. Have a surveyed site plan with an access easement and a 20 feet minimum setback from the property line.
Yeah. Now, I had never really given it any thought until I went to that funeral. And I went to that funeral several years back,
Yeah,
but then I don't remember even what started it, but I started looking into if you could start a family plot on your property
yeah.
still, or if it was against the law. So,
It's uh let's see. Do cemeteries remove graves after 100 years? That's one of the questions. In the United States, it is useful. Absolutely nothing that happens to a grave after that amount or any amount of time has passed.
so in other words, they can't do that,
Yeah,
suppose.
it's not supposed to be done. That was
Right.
April 3rd, 2020 when that was written.
Yeah, but then you've got people like you said that went and removed the bricks. So
Yeah,
unless it's written down somewhere that there's graves there, but then again, if they don't know, if there's not a plot or a diagram of where the graves are, how are they to know where the graves are? You
yeah.
know?
Well, see, that's where my great great grandparents or my dad's grandparents, so it will be my second great. Uh,
Yeah.
they was buried at this church down here in Louisville, North Carolina.
Uh huh.
We call it the Grapevine, which my dad and them called the Slab City. Because the houses back down there, they said back in the day they didn't have nothing. They just had slabs up on the wall and big old holes. You can take a cat and throw the cat through the holes in the wall. That's how far apart.
Wow.
So that's what they call Slab City. And
Mm
he said they was buried in the church there, and the the church members decided they was going to fix up the cemetery. So they, instead of going out through there and writing down all the names of the cemetery and where they was buried at and do a blueprint, they took everything up. They went and spread out dirt on all the graves, and then they went and started putting out these stones back. They was buried up at the top. Now they buried down there at the foot at the woods.
hmm. Goodness.
So you never know who you're going to visit when you go to that cemetery.
Oh, well, yeah. I was reading somewhere there was a family plantation or something where a large amount of acreage of land, and there was a family cemetery, and there was like 4 or 5 people buried in this plot. And I guess down the road, um, the highway state came through and bought a section of land, and they were supposed to have moved those graves, and they didn't do it. Well, then when I guess family finally came in and said, okay, where are they buried at? They couldn't find them.
Yeah.
And so they went and measured and what have you. And to make a long story short, they opened up the family plot again, and it is in the medium of a 4-lane highway. is where this, and supposedly you drive by it and you can see it. That's where it's at.
God.
Yeah. And I was like, Jesus, I'd be moving them, just because people's going to be wrecking and everything else trying to look at it and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, and that's just bizarre. I mean, it'd be like me going to a different state and saying, okay, I want to go to the family's, cemetery. Oh, it's in the medium of the highway, wave at it as I go by, I guess. I don't know, but
Yeah.
yeah.
That's like where Shasta and them lives at. They know where the cemetery's at, that they dug up over half of it to put the highway through there. Well, actually span the highway.
Uh-huh.
So now you're riding on top of the cemetery.
And truth be told, if they moved the graves, all they did is move the tombstones.
Yeah.
Truth be told, that's what a lot of them did instead
Yeah.
of going through actually digging them up and moving them.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's kind of weird way they did all that.
Yeah. Jeez.
I just looked up this right here is home burials. There it says here in North Carolina there is no state law that prohibits burying a body on private property, but local government may have rules. So you can actually bury somebody on your property, a family member.
Mm.
Uh, you should check
Now,
with.
if you lived in the city limits of somewhere, that's probably where they said the local
Yeah,
government, would. And I could kind of see that if you're in town and you only got like an acre of land, if that, and all of a sudden you start burying people, and. But
that would be kind of
probably out in farms and stuff like that, you wouldn't have any issues.
you would draw a lot of attention. Be like that Casey man, that clown that done all that killing.
Oh,
He
yeah.
he put them all in his house, down in the basement, out in his front yard.
Yeah. And matter of fact, my sister dated a guy that had known him, had met him, Gacy.
Really?
Wasn't it Gacy? It
Yeah,
wasn't Gacy, his name. Yeah,
yeah,
it's Gacy. And that knew him. And it's bizarre, though, how you can meet somebody and have absolutely no idea how they really are.
yeah,
You know,
yeah. His name was John Wayne Gacy.
yep, yep,
I didn't know he died in 1994. Huh.
yeah,
I was in middle school. I mean, elementary school. No, middle school at that time. Huh.
yeah.
That was one sick sicko though.
Oh, yeah. There's so many of them. There's a guy that I actually met twice. And there was like 4 months in between the times that I met him. Had no idea. And years down the road, let's see, I met him in twice in 1996. And I think it was 2006 when it came out. It was in the early 2000s anyway.
Yeah,
That he was known as the barrel killer. He killed several women and put them in barrels.
yeah. I remember. I
Yeah.
remember somebody talking about that.
Robertson. I can't remember. What was sad is he had met what he would do is set up like job interviews for
Yeah,
some people to take care of his mom. And these women would come and do interviews and he would kidnap them
yeah,
and end up killing them. Well, one of them had a baby and a small baby. We're talking maybe a couple months old. And she told him, she said, I need to have some time here to find someone to watch my kid. And he told her, go ahead and bring the baby.
yeah,
So he killed her. He had that baby and he took that baby and gave it to his brother and made him think it was a legal adoption. Somebody had gave the baby to them
yeah,
and said the mother had died and and they didn't question it one bit. And when it came out, this girl was like 7 or 8 years old.
mm,
And the brother and them was actually allowed to keep her because they'd had her for so long. And but she did get to meet her grandmother, and everything. But yeah, this he had no idea. Now, both times I met him, he was weird.
Mhm.
But the first time it was just kind of a glance meeting. I was dating a guy that had a storage unit, and he was contacted. We was having dinner, and he was contacted by the police that a storage unit had been broken into,
Hmm.
and wanted him to come down and check it out. So I went with him, and so happens the storage unit next to him belonged to this man.
Hmm.
And this guy showed up and checked his, and he acted like he was scared. And he opened it up and he said, nope, there's nothing missing. But you could tell he was relieved
Yeah.
that there was nothing missing. And he shut the door and he put a different lock on it. Well, come find out there was 2 barrels in there that had women in them
Hmm.
in that storage unit. Yeah.
That's wild.
And the second time I met him, he was over a gated community, like a maintenance man and manager type of thing. And a friend of mine went to rent a place there, and I went with her, and he was so creepy, she wouldn't even think about moving in there. He wanted us to ride with him, and we were like, no, we'll take the own car. And he was flirting and just carrying on, and he was creepy.
Yeah.
He was just creepy.
Yeah.
And I told Bobby, don't do this. And then down the road, she's the one that called me and said, did you see the news? No, I've been working.
Yeah.
And that's when I found out about him.
Yeah.
But yeah, you could meet them and have absolutely no idea what they're doing, what's going on with them
Yeah.
at all.
Um, do y'all have any uh like in the future have any other plans besides traveling or anything to
Well, I'd like for Liz to be the one to talk about this the most, but she is going to start a podcast.
okay.
And she's getting everything set up. I think she's going to do it. I know she's going to Arizona for about 4 days this coming Thursday. And that's where her grandbabies are. So she is going out there and being grandma for 4 days. And then she's coming back. And I don't know how soon after she comes back that she's going to start doing this. And I don't know how often she's going to do it. But we do have that going on. And we have been, like I said, we're going through these videos and trying to get those caught up where we could get any evidence that we found, because it's been a while. You
Yeah.
figure we started doing this 2 years ago. But yeah, we kind of like to expand ourselves a little bit by investigating in, some famous places like we do for Global Ghost Hunt.
Yeah.
Instead of just residents. I mean, not that we're going to quit doing the residents, because that's a definite no. We're not doing that at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'd kind of like to do a little more fun stuff, and we're kind of discussing that over again. And we would like to do a meetup. I would love to be able to be financially capable of doing like a Paracon of some sort here. I mean, there is stuff all around us. We've got battlefields, and we've got old plantations, and we've got, Pythian Castle is like 35 minutes away from my house.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of places for anybody that has not been here before.
Yeah.
All around us. I mean, we are 3 hours from St. Louis. We're 3 hours from Kansas City. I would even think about maybe doing some in the bigger cities, but yet I don't know. I think it would cost more to
Yeah.
do it in the bigger cities.
Yeah.
But I'd love to just do a meet and greet with everybody, and we're in the center of the United States, and we're in the center of Missouri too. So,
Hey Baker, how you doing, buddy?
hey, Dwayne,
Um,
is he feeling better? You feeling better, Dwayne?
I think he's getting better. He's getting close to where he's starting ready, wanting to come back to work.
Oh, well, then I wonder if he isn't running a fever on that one. Fever talk there, if you want to go back to work.
Yeah.
No, that's good to hear. That's good to hear.
Uh, yeah. That's what I've been thinking about doing myself, doing a paranormal meetup, get together, and get everybody in the cahoots with everything. And like
Yeah.
we do have a fairground here that where I was thinking about see if I can't see what they'll charge me to do it because it is for the veterans. The fairground is they take care of it. So
Uh-huh.
I was thinking about seeing what's going to cost me to do that and everything, and maybe we can rent the fairgrounds out and doing a Paracon or Parafest or whatever.
Whatever you want to call it. Yeah.
Thanks for all the prayers. No problem, buddy. But
Good. I'm
hopefully,
still praying for you, Dwayne.
hopefully we will figure out something because I want to make it everybody that comes. I want everybody to talk about it for years to come and stuff like that.
Hmm. I went into, it's been here a while back, I went into Myers and I told him, I said, we're planning on going to North Carolina. So when we do, we'll let you know. And maybe you guys could head up that way and we could meet you too. And he was like, oh, that would be interesting. So maybe, who knows? Maybe he'll show up and him and Autumn.
I hope so because I would really enjoy hanging out with them. It'll be a blessing to.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to investigate with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, that I would like to see y'all and them on the bridge. I think there'll be some crazy stuff going on there.
Yeah, if Steve gets pinched, we'll know about it.
Yeah.
We'll
Yeah.
think it's Gizmo going off. Woo!
Yeah, they like I said we will go to the when y'all do get to come down. We will go over to Daniel Boone's mom and dad's grave
Okay,
because that
good.
place has got some crazy stuff going on right now. I just went over there the other day just to mess around, look around.
Uh-huh.
I didn't really do no investigation, but I just got out of the truck and just looked around. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw something in the back of the cemetery walking, and they ain't nothing there. Nobody's there. Nobody goes visit that much, especially,
Yeah.
especially the old part. Back in
Yeah.
there. So nobody goes in there. They do go visit the new part of the cemetery, but there's
The
no.
older part. Yeah.
Yeah,
What's sad is chances are the people back then, all their friends have passed. And the family that is alive was so distant they don't know them, enough to. And that's sad. Now, being Daniel Boone's mom and dad, being back in there, you'd think that that would draw people in,
yeah,
but no, yeah, it'd be interesting.
yeah.
Something definitely different.
That's where Michael caught the shadow at in the pictures.
Yeah, I remember that.
We
Yeah.
actually had Gizmo to go off there too, and
Now, the first place Gizmo ever went off at was at the bridge, wasn't it?
yeah,
Okay, I can't remember.
yeah.
I was thinking it was.
We actually had to go off 3 times at the bridge.
Yeah, I remember the first time.
And the,
No
sec-
freaking way.
the second time now, it was at the bridge, but I was walking across to the recliner, and I turned the camera around, and
Yeah, and you couldn't catch it. You
yeah, I
couldn't
tried
catch
to
it.
run back real quick, and that time I got it quit. But whatever
Yeah,
it
but we
was,
could hear it. We could hear it. So, yeah.
whatever it was
Yeah.
mad because they slapped that cat toy off the bridge and it banged top of that ground. I just knowed it busted it.
I remember that. Yeah.
That was really crazy that night.
Yeah, you've had a lot of odd things, a lot of variety of different things happen at the bridge. But it's
Yeah,
because you're dealing with different spirits there. It's not the same spirits.
I think
You have some of the regulars, so to speak, but you're getting off and on. You get different ones.
yeah, I think that's like a portal. That's where they travel through is
Hmm.
through the bridge, through Peggy's house, and
I was going to say Peggy's house probably has something to do with that too.
yeah, I think
Yeah.
that's a portal. The bridge is the portal, and they congregate up there in the Peggy's house. Like sitting there waiting on
Mhm.
the bus. So
Do
that's
you know where all those people's graves exactly is, or where it was, I should say?
mm, what way I was taking it. I think it was to the right where the recliner was at. It's right
Okay.
across the road in that flat going back towards Peggy's house.
I was going to say, how far is Peggy's house from where,
From,
if you knew where, how far it
from,
was from
from the
it?
bridge, it's probably about, I'm going to say at least good one big city block.
Okay, now I'm going to ask you another question. Do you know the last time someone lived in Peggy's house?
Um, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's around early 40s or early
Okay.
30s, around early 30s or early 40s, somewhere in that time frame.
Okay. Because I wondered how the dates of the people that had passed or the graves that they found, um, how well it coincided with that. Because
Well,
maybe they lived in Peggy's house, is what I was thinking, and that's just where they was burying them, you know.
one one of them was when they done the DNA test dated back from the 30s,
Okay.
and they said they was like tied up and two shots to the head. So I'm taking that was a gangster,
Sounds more like a mob hit. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
they found 18 bodies, and I still to this day don't think they got them all.
Oh, well, yeah.
I don't think they got
Yeah.
each.
When you think about it, one dated back to the 30s and stuff like that. Yeah. More than likely, there's more. They just didn't find them,
Yeah,
you know.
probably done decomposed, and the bones
Yeah.
probably done decomposed if the bones decomposed or whatever. It's probably squirrels got the bones and chewed on them and stuff.
Oh,
They
well, yeah. And scattered around and just everything. Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I just don't think they got them all because it's a weird feeling when you go over there anyway, especially when you ride right by that area where the recliner is before you get to the bridge.
Uh huh.
Every hair on your body stands up. I mean, even the top of your toes stands up.
Yeah, and then there's that recliner that showed up there, and that's just, and what got me is it had like its controller remote
Yeah,
for it
it was electric recliner.
sitting there. Yeah, yeah. And I was like, wow, they even brought the remote because they didn't want any of it in the house, which told me I believe that it was haunted.
Yeah,
I really do. And I believe that a family member dumped it there.
and I do remember also we was there one time and it was sitting straight up, and the next time we went, the feet was done out, and
Yeah.
it could come out because it's electricity. So how did it
Yeah.
come open is beyond me.
Yeah. Because if you drug it or pulled it out, reached down at the bottom and pulled it out, more than likely one of the sides would have broke loose, and it would have dropped down and hung down on one side and stuff.
Yeah,
The footrest part. Come on, Maddie. My dog's wanting to get up on the couch. Come
but
on up here.
it was like
Yes.
I said though, it was the feet part was out, and that was crazy.
Yeah. Yep. Come on. Come on. And there was a man that used to hang out there, and he several times when you'd go down there, he'd just be walking in circles around it,
Yeah,
just walking in circles around it. He was
I know.
angry.
I know we had the
Come on.
we set up the grid pin on there too,
Yeah.
and actually blocked out some of the lights on the grid pin.
Hmm. I think you did that the night that something walked between the camera and there and just blocked it completely out.
Yeah,
I think it was more of a dark gray mist, if I remember right.
yeah. So, oh, I thought it was the remote to a TV.
If it is, they left the TV at home, I guess.
uh, that's a crazy place where when it gets nighttime,
Yeah.
early in the morning like that, that place turns weird than what you think it does.
Have you gone down there during the day and messed around
I
in
have
like in the afternoon?
I've done a day video there before.
Okay. Well, I knew you had been there when it was just kind of starting to get dark
Yeah,
and that type of thing, but I just never knew whether you went down there in like in the middle of the day just to see if the feelings was the same or
it does. It really don't change, but at nighttime it gets worse.
it's heavier.
Yeah, cause I when my dad was in the hospital and I was out riding around by myself at night because I couldn't sleep, and it was on a weekend that I didn't work, and I think it was like on a Friday or Saturday something. My dad was in the hospital at the time, and I just drove down through there, and I think it was like at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 11:30, somewhere like that. And oh my gracious, it was really, really crazy.
Come here, Maddie. I'm going to turn this around. I can't guarantee you're going to see her or not. But say hi.
Hey,
There's Maddie. Yeah. She's like, what in the world, Mom?
hey, Tim, how you doing? Appreciate you coming in.
Hey, Tim. I can't see chat, so if you say something to me, I won't know it
I'll try.
unless John tells me.
Yeah, I'll try to bring it up when they say something to
Yeah.
you. I mean, just by that feeling when like I said, when my dad was in there,
Uh-huh.
when I went there, it was like 11:30. It was totally different feeling. And now I hadn't been through there since last time we went through there and stuff, and it was really really cool back then, but I hadn't been there lately, so I don't know. I might try to sneak over and ride down through there or something.
Just see what it's,
Just
yeah,
see
how
how
it's going.
deep the air is through there.
Yeah, you might be surprised. You might find a lot of stuff there different.
Yeah, I don't know if I hadn't seen anything that anybody's done there, so I don't know
Yeah.
if anybody's going down there or not. I just don't know.
Yeah.
Uh, Hopefully that since we don't not going down there, and hopefully they don't get nothing. Hopefully
Yeah.
they don't pick up nothing. I hope. Cause I did when he called and blessed me out. I sat there and I prayed the rest of that night, and I said, "Please do not show up. Don't show nothing to them. Don't even let
Yeah.
them know that you're there. If you do, make where they're so scared they don't want to do nothing no more."
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and I do think too, spirits does listen to you.
Oh, yeah.
I think
Oh,
they
they do. They do.
because I know that night when me and Michael went upstairs in the clinic in Shasta, and everybody was down in the basement, and Michael laid down on that bed. I sat in the chair beside the bed,
Mm-hmm.
and Michael said something or said, I forget the lady's name that was staying in that room. He told her, said, "Can you come over here and lay down beside of me?" All of a sudden, he said he felt the bed move,
Yeah.
and the side of him was cold. And he said, next thing you know, his legs started like on fire, like somebody set fire under his legs. And come find out, Shasta down there said something, or can you touch him on the leg or something other? And that's what got him up. And
And reacted to it. Yeah.
they started laughing at us, and that was so funny.
Yeah, Shasta has a habit of falling or something goofy happening.
Yeah.
She's around. I can't get past. I remember every time when I think of Shasta, her telling the story of falling in the creek.
Yeah,
Is
she don't like that one.
yeah, Shaw Woman. She at the time had started another channel, and it was called Spare Pants. And she laughed and she said, "That's why you need spare pants."
Yeah.
That's what she was.
Uh, let's see. There was. I'm trying to think of that other one. Oh, we was at the clinic one night, and this is actually I remember this. This was our very first investigation that was at the clinic,
Uh huh.
and it was on February 25th. Shasta and my aunt came out, and we decided. Well, they decided they wanted to do that, so we had it planned for about a month and a half ahead of time.
Uh
And
huh.
my cousin now she is a talker. She is a big talker, and she was down there talking to the two guys that owns the building, and everybody else was down there. I think my aunt was still upstairs because she can't travel down the steps or go up steps much, so she stayed in the kitchen with I forget who was up there with her. Anyway, I said we was driving. They was driving a Hummer at that time, a big yellow Hummer, and she always bad to lock her doors. And I told her, I said, I'm gonna go upstairs, start getting my stuff out of the truck, out of the Hummer, and start carrying it inside. She said, okay, I'll unlock the door. And she mashed a button while she was in the basement, and all of a sudden, I went outside, went through the double door, went outside, and that door locks on that truck, on that Hummer, was going up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. Yes,
Uh
I mean, time it locked down, it came back up.
huh.
Yeah, and it scared me because that was my first time investigating, and I thought, oh my god.
Yeah, and being by yourself when you go out there and seeing that, yeah.
I went down there and I asked her, I said, are you mashing that button? She said, no. And that the owners were standing there laughing. They said, well, the spirits does that. They play with people.
Yeah.
And that was my first experience as on investigation before we even got started.
Yeah.
And I had to tell you a part about that because I don't want to say it online because I don't want everybody to think I'm crazy or not. But I have to tell you that behind off camera.
Okay.
A bigger part of that story.
Okay.
Or you would die laughing.
It's
You would die laughing.
kind of strange. Earlier tonight, um, I was clearing the table away and I looked out because I seen red flashing lights. And I was like, that is the cop. And I was kind of looking around and I looked, and what it was is the neighbors across the street, they have this big Bronco SUV, and it was like they had their flashers on. And
Yeah,
all I was seeing was the red flashers in the back, just flashing, flashing. And I was looking around, I didn't see anyone outside. And so I sent her a message and I said, hey, I don't know if someone's out there. I'm not seeing anybody, but the flashers are going off on the vehicle. Next thing you know, you see the porch light pop on and people come running out and they're walking around the car. And I was questioned whether or not, and I started to open the front door and ask him, and I thought, no, she'll tell me. And I
yeah,
haven't heard anything yet, but I questioned if maybe somebody hadn't been in their vehicle, had
yeah,
messed around or something. But because we've had that happen, my car's been broken into twice since I've moved here.
yeah,
But no, it then you was talking about that going on back and up and down, up and down. I was like, okay, what if that was something going on?
yeah.
you know?
That night, I mean, that it just kept on going. I asked her, I said, "Hey, did you mashing that lock button on your keys?" She said, "No,"
Hmm.
and she wasn't because they was laying on the table and she was standing like 3 or 4 foot away from the table.
Huh.
Yeah, and it was going up and down.
Wow.
And I just went back in there and waited till they come back up so we can go
Said,
there.
okay, well, now come with me, is what I would have said. Help me get this equipment because I don't need anything else going on while I'm trying to get the equipment out.
Yeah, I hope we can get the clinic while y'all are here because you would be crazy up there in that top of that room, especially
Yeah,
the
that
room,
red room is what you're talking about, the red room. Yeah.
bedroom, and where the wardrobe is at. Because that whole that end of
Hmm.
that building is kind of strict. You know,
Hmm.
that
Yeah.
whole thing is kind of strange.
Yeah, we do, like you had stated earlier, we do a lot of residents or places where people just don't want us to talk about it because they don't want people messing around. And we worked a cabin, and the cabin was built, I believe, in 1840s or 1850s, and a log cabin is all it is. Um, but I there's something there. We've got a video. It's right at an hour long, and that's what I hated about it. But yet I wanted to keep it together. But I am going to talk to the people because you can't tell anything, and no people are in the video. We set up, and we do this at every investigation. About halfway through, we'll set up the cameras and we'll set up like an experiment of some sort, and then we'll just and a bunch of voice recorders out and all this kind of stuff, and then we'll go out and we'll stay gone for at least 30 minutes, and sometimes it's longer than that, and
Yeah,
just let the cameras and stuff run and see what we get. Well, in this video, we started, you heard all kinds of noises, you heard piano music, absolutely nothing in this cabin that would do this. Um, you heard people walking, you kept hearing kind of like a growling. Um, but we got to noticing that there was a slow change. And by the time the end of the video, we had a flashlight set up in there on. And by the time the end of the video, when we came out, the camera had moved to the point that you could not see the flashlight.
yeah,
And you could hear this weird noise, and then you would see it slowly move. But unless you paid attention, and you didn't pay attention, let's put it that way, and realize that the flashlight was no longer in screen, you would have never noticed it. And I checked everything with the and we got there and the camera was off.
yeah.
And I thought Ruben, because Ruben had went in before I did, and I thought Ruben had just walked over and shut it off. So I grabbed this camera up and went out and did some and used it to do some recording. And Ruben said he had went in, if I remember correctly, Ruben said he had went in and seen that it was off and thought it had died. Thought the battery had died.
Hmm.
But no, somebody had shut it off also, or something had shut it off
Yeah,
there. And I want to get that video. I've got to get the okay from them. And I think they'll do it because nothing, no one's saying their names, and you really can't see a whole lot because it's pretty much dark in there. Um, but you hear all kinds of stuff. And where this cabin sets, it sets on a certain area of the property. And when we left, we went to the house that they live in.
yeah.
So we weren't even outside around there at all. But yeah, it's a video I would like to put up. But I need to get their permission to do it. I don't see them giving me any problems with it. I would love. There's also, and I'm going to talk to him. We got to wait for warmer weather now. but there is a section of woods that even during the day, people have said that they see like old pioneer people camping out there. They have the covered wagon, and
Yeah.
there's a couple of kids, and they've got a campfire, and said they'll see it, and then it's gone.
Hmm.
And it happens of a night, but it happens also of a day.
Yeah.
And so we have made up our mind, and we was told we could do it. We're going to take tents and we're going to go out there and camp out. And since it's out in the middle of the woods, no one's going to recognize. Yeah, I mean it's trees, you
Yeah.
know, and there's a little creek there. But other than that, no one's going to recognize anything.
Yeah.
And so when we do it, I'm going to video that and put that video out too.
Cool. That's cool. That give
So
me an idea. I might set my camera up over there in the woods, next
yeah,
to the first set of woods we went to, and just let it sit there for about 45 minutes.
yeah,
I can
just see if you hear anything or see anything or
I can hook up the battery pack to it, and it'll stay charged for a little while.
yeah. Or John, you could forget your voice recorder and leave it there and go back and get it.
Yeah, I probably will leave that too.
Yeah, I would. I'd leave, and I'd even put something in front of the camera like a cat ball or something, just see if it goes off,
Yeah,
you know, or
that's
something.
probably what I would do. I'll set up like we're going to do an investigation. I'll set the gizmo out there and everything.
Yeah.
Stay gone for about 45 minutes. I will cut that camera off. Then I'll
Hmm.
go live, and then I'll bring that camera back and check out the card on it and see what we caught.
What's on it? Yeah.
Then
When we do that, every time we do that, we'll set the stuff up and like I said, we had stuff sitting there. I had a small plasma ball there and stuff in front of the camera. And I told him what we was doing. I said, we're going to take a break. And you know what? If there's anything that you want to tell us, but you was afraid to tell us with us being here, get and do it. Tell us your name. And if there's anything we can help you with, tell us. We'll try to do what we can do, that type of thing. I
yeah,
tell them what I'm doing. And that way, hopefully, it causes them to do something.
yeah,
But yeah, no, that is something you can do.
that give me a good idea right there because I got two cameras. I cut the night vision on too, and we can see through night vision.
Yeah, yeah,
And I got like 4 or 5 tripods around here, so I just set it on a
yeah,
tripod and,
yeah,
and let it go.
yeah.
That's a good
I would
idea.
do it. Yeah.
That's a good idea for me because I will try that now. Uh,
My dad, my dad used to have 7 rental homes,
yeah,
and I managed them for him when I started to take. Well, even when I wasn't taking care of him, I did certain things. I made sure he collected the rent. But if something needed done, I got people to do it, or I did it myself, or what have you.
yeah,
Um, but he had this one house, and the property butted up to the big cemetery here in town. And I kid you not, John, this house was cursed. And I have never said that about any house, but this house was cursed. Everybody we had move in, if they were elderly, they died or they
yeah.
had strokes and had to be put in care facilities. We had 2 women die 3 years apart. They died in the same bedroom, in the same situation. They were using a porta potty that was sitting beside their bed, and they died while they was sitting on the porta potty. One of them, it happened on Mother's Day.
Oh,
Um, the younger couples, well, any couple that moved in there, separated and divorced within a year.
oh.
Uh, but everything would go wrong. Everything would go wrong with this house. Hold on a minute.
Welcome back, PW.
But everything would go wrong with this house. We were constantly having to put money into this house. And It was a house you would walk into and you just feel it. It was heavy. I had a girl that would go if people moved out to go in and clean
Yeah.
if I couldn't do it, and she wouldn't do it unless somebody go with her. Um, but Dad finally, we just said we're not doing this no more, and we sold the house.
Yeah.
But no, that house was as creepy. But at one time, why I'm even telling you about this is I took a camera in there and I set it up in there and I ran it. Now, I was going to do it of a nighttime, but the neighborhood, and if they found out the house was empty, the house was constantly being broken into.
Yeah.
So I thought, I don't want to do that. But I did it of a day. And you would hear things like people walking. You would hear things like there was one, it sounded like somebody clearing their throat and stuff. And it was right there by the camera. And where the camera was, there was just no way of not being able to see them.
Yeah.
And, but yeah, that was things I used to do to kind of help and see what was going on, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But no,
That's
go
that's
ahead.
that's a good idea right there. I mean, putting a camera in somewhere that
Yeah.
you know.
Or if you're doing a long investigation, which our investigations, we usually start like 7:30, 8 o'clock at night, and we go until 1 and 2 in the morning.
Yeah.
Now, there's a lot to do in an investigation when you're trying to help somebody and find out what's there, and there's different things you do. But that's why we take a break and just see if anything happens with no one in the house, you know. But we do it with every investigation, and it gives us a break, um, gives us time to collect each and kind of confer with each other. Okay,
Yeah.
since we got this or we didn't get a response or whatever, maybe we need to do this, or how about us doing this, or
Yeah.
that's kind of what we do during that period of time. But yeah, no, it's a good thing to do, but it's interesting. And, just even when you're setting your equipment up and stuff, go ahead and click the cameras on because you'd be surprised what you hear and what you
Yeah.
see. You get
That's
stuff in and
that's what we do when we set up our main cameras, our DVR system. They don't have sound
uh
on it, but we catch crazy stuff by seeing what's happening while we're setting up in the basement. We already have everything recorded up in the
yeah,
upstairs, so we do have things starting soon. Because as soon as we hook up that power cord to the thing, everything starts to record right off the go. There's no way I can stop and start and stop. It's all recorded at the same time.
right.
As soon as your power cord hooks up, then it will take off.
Yep.
But I'm thinking about doing that. Next time I go out there to the woods, I will take that night vision camera that I got and make sure I got a good card in it, and I will set it up
Yeah.
and let it go for about 45 minutes. Then go
Yeah.
out there and cut it off and start doing my regular investigation.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. And just see what you get prepared, just say I'm doing this and I'll be back later and
yeah,
we'll be back to investigate like we do and that kind of thing and just see.
just
Hopefully you'll catch something,
oh,
somebody saying, hey,
I got, I got a feeling that we will catch something there like that. It's just one of those, it's just
areas.
things. Yeah, it gives you a weird feeling. Sometimes it don't feel like anything's happening or going on. Then
Yeah.
sometimes it's really heavy, like they're running through there and stuff.
Well, I've done investigations where I was thinking it wasn't very active and so forth. And then we watch the cameras or we listen to the recorders, which is entailing on list, because you got hours and hours of stuff. But um, you surprised or like, okay, well, there was more going on than what we realized.
I
Uh,
know when I left the recorder at the cemetery that night, and I realized it after I'd been out there for 5 hours. I thought the daggone battery would have been dead, but
Yeah, or it was raining too, if I remember correctly,
yeah,
and
mm,
he was like, "Oh my God, I got to go get this kid," Yeah.
yeah, it was crazy. And you talking about crickets? I have got 5 hours of crickets hollering.
Well, slow it down. You might find out you got a little more than
There,
what you realize.
there was twice in there though the crickets had cut out.
This stopped,
Just stopped, but I didn't. I played it back twice that
huh?
same night, and I didn't hear nothing in there.
Huh?
But they quit for probably at least good. I'm gonna say at least good 30 or 40 seconds. Then it started back.
Okay, I'm gonna move around, so I've got to. My phone is getting low, so I'm gonna plug it in and
All
move
right.
to a different room. So yeah, I'm not taking off on you. I'm just you're gonna see some weird camera activity.
You good? We're gonna be on here for about another 30 more minutes, 20 minutes actually.
Yeah. Okay. I'll go into a brighter room, and you guys can go. Oh my God! Look at her. No.
Uh, what
Yeah.
what is a good uh, uh, what is your advice to somebody that wants to start a paranormal group or team or just get into the paranormal themselves? What would be advice you would give somebody?
To make sure that they really want to do it. There's a lot more entail. I mean, there's so much to consider. Um, I went into it with a whole different outlook than what I do have right now.
Yeah,
Uh, we started the group in 2006, and I was naive,
yeah,
and it was not good. It was just not good. Um, but now it's better. But
yeah,
you figure it's 2025, and just now it's better. But
yeah,
no, I wouldn't get all crazy and buy a bunch of equipment. Get some basic stuff. Um, Heck, use your phone if you have to for a while, and
yeah,
voice recorder, and just get some basic stuff and think of some places. And so I would start off small. I wouldn't go to, the big, well known, unless you're just going to walk around and kind of do an assessment and that type of thing. But don't
yeah,
put out a lot of money at first. Just get and try yourself out, and um, try to get, don't do it by yourself.
yeah,
Find at least one person to go with you. And if you want to start a group, you've got to make sure that you're like minded,
yeah,
that you want the same thing, because if not, you're going to find out there's a lot of arguing and a lot of hurt feelings. And my team now, we've been together since 2006, and we're more family than we are team.
yeah,
And that's just, but, and we talked about getting somebody else come in. And matter of fact, we talked to a woman here a while back, for just doing research for us and having a second person in to kind of help out.
yeah,
And she has some equipment of her own and stuff, but she's never really been in a group and things. But we were like, okay, now what if she doesn't fit in? And I'm like, well, we'll just tell her it's a probationary period,
yeah,
and that is something I would do. I would tell anybody, if you're bringing somebody new in, make sure they understand it's a probationary period, because it may not work out. I mean, I believe it was 2008, we had two soldiers join. At one time, Jonathan, there was 12 of us.
yeah,
But we all kind of rotated, so it wasn't like 12 of us doing an investigation.
yeah,
But there was one soldier, and I don't care. We had rules things you did and you don't do, you know. Um, he didn't care.
Yeah.
And when it comes to kids, we did an investigation at a home. And I think I told you the story about the poachers and how the cops showed up and freaked us all out. And we freaked them out because I opened the door and there we all were in the dark with cameras and, you know.
Yeah.
But anyway, we was working there and there was a child involved. And she had a spirit that really wasn't malevolent. It was just, it kept coming in and bothering her in the middle of the night. And she was like 4 years old. And I don't like kids to be around when we're investigating. But in the beginning, before we started the investigation, I did talk to her. And I took her in the bedroom and had her show us what was going on. And this thing was coming in through her window. She was very detailed. And even talking about it, she'd tear up and cry. But I had told them, I do not want her coming in. Well, he went when I was in the basement of this house. He went to where these people were. They were in a disattached room outside the house. He went and got her and made them believe that I had told him to do it and wanted to see if her being in the room would cause this to happen.
Yeah.
And I came upstairs and found him, and I lost, you know, on him. And the only reason I didn't kick him out of the group is he was transferring out and going, because he was in the military. He was a soldier.
Yes.
He was transferring out, going to California in about 3 or 4 weeks. So I just let him, but I taught, don't you ever, but see, I'd already gotten on to him once before for doing a ritual. He was Wiccan,
Yeah.
and he had this knife and he lit a candle and was chanting something, and the owner walked through, and I had just went outside, and anyway, she came out and was upset, and I went in and jumped him, and I tried to do it professionally. I took him out, took him to the side, didn't raise my voice, didn't, you know, I just told him, you know, we don't do this, and you know we don't do this unless they ask us to, and then that's different, you know. But anyway, it was like I was talking to a wall, and I turned, and he said, well, it's enchanted, and I just lost it because I had already went through everything as nice as I could be, you know, explained to him, and I said, you're going to have to apologize to her.
Yeah.
And he just looked at me, you know, and I turned around and I said, I don't care if the dang thing can whistle Yankee Doodle Dandy and dance across the floor. You're
Yeah.
not taking, because he had this saber knife, you know, and no, we're not doing it. And that's one of our rules, no weapons, especially on an inside investigation. If you're outside, we're limited. Now, we have done investigations where I was carrying, okay? Yeah. And it was just one of those things, you know,
Yeah.
but it wasn't like I was carrying out where everybody could see it. I just had it there because there was a possibility of something happening there.
Yeah.
And that's when we did Windyville. And all that crap had went on. That girl had been murdered. I think I had told you a little bit about that before. But anyway, no, it's just, you know, do your basics and make sure that it's what you want to do before you go investing a lot of money and starting a lot of stuff and then realize, hey, this is more than I can handle. You know, get some advice from others around you that knows your community, your area, that may be interested. If they don't want to work with you, you know what I mean, as far as being on your team,
Yeah.
maybe they'd at least be able to give him some advice and help them with whatever, you know, questions they may have or whatever.
Yeah.
You're I'm more than happy to have you contact me. I'll help you any way I possibly can. But now, as far as you joining the group here, no, that probably ain't gonna happen. But yeah, I, you know, and I have had people contact me and say, "Hey, I'm in a different part of Missouri. Do you know of any groups or anything?" And I would contact some other groups here in Missouri and say, "Hey, okay, this person's looking, and this is what they've got, and this is any kind of experience that they had," and put them in contact with them.
Yeah,
I've done
that's
stuff like that. But
that's what we do here. We try to when somebody contacts me wanting to know if they join a group because they're a little bit further out, which I'm not
mm,
going to take any more outside people, not unless they're close by me, so
hmm,
we can communicate a little bit better.
right, right,
But it's hard to go all over United States and get up with your members, So,
yeah, yeah,
but Tracy, she does our part in Missouri up there where she's at. She's trying to help out,
hmm,
and she knows y'all, so she can. If she has something up there and we all can't get to it, she's gonna try to reach out to people
okay,
there.
that's fine. That's fine. We're about from where Tracy is at. We are about 2.5 hours away.
Because
And my
that's
son, my son lives about 20 minutes from her.
oh really
Yeah, my
okay.
youngest son does. Yeah.
So
So
that
I'm
way,
very familiar with that area. I used to live up there. So
it will y'all can help out up there if we need something. And if y'all need something from her, you can contact with her.
yeah,
Same way with Virginia. My cousin, I put her in charge of the Virginia office. So if she has anything, we can go there.
yeah.
Somebody in a private location, same way we're here.
Hmm.
If I can't get there, she knows a few other groups there in Virginia, close where she's at, that can team up with her and help out a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. There's plenty of teams up around where Tracy's at too.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's several up there. Is she a member of another team up here in Missouri?
I have no clue.
Okay. Well, I didn't know whether she was or not.
Yeah,
It's kind of weird. Some of the teams they're not in the middle of the road on any of this, but either they want to communicate and they're happy to talk to you and that kind of stuff, or they don't want to have anything to do with you.
yeah,
They're afraid you're going to take something away from them or whatever. I don't know, but
yeah,
yeah, but we got a lot of good groups here too. I'm not saying that, and I'm not saying really that the others are not good groups. It's just they're not friendly.
yeah.
They're just not. That's the only way I know to put it.
I don't
But
know too many groups here where I'm at. I don't really associate with any of them. But
yeah,
one in the town of Mayberry, Mount Airy, whatever you want to call it, there
uh
is another
huh,
group that close by, but I don't talk to them. I don't associate. I don't really know too much about them or nothing. So
yeah, okay. But no, as far as starting out, I've seen so many people go out and they buy expensive equipment and all this kind of stuff, and they really it's just them
yeah,
starting out. And they're like, okay, now what? And I'm like, okay, so can you control all this stuff and man it and do this by
yeah,
don't do this by yourself. You can't, no, at least two people, at
yeah,
least two people. And, but that would be my main advice is just don't go crazy and buy a bunch of equipment and make sure that it's something you really want to do. Look into it, look around what you've got in your area and start there before
yeah,
you start traveling and all this kind of stuff.
yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah,
I've been doing it for years. So it's really, when I started the group, hey, Joe, um, when I started the group, it wasn't really anything different for me. I had already been to Crescent and uh, went over to a local cemetery where there was a witch and that kind of stuff. And that kind of thing I had already done. And so when the group started, we kind of all started in, and we all live in a little bit of different areas.
yeah,
Uh, Jesse, my son, and I are the only ones that's actually here in Lebanon. and Liz and Ruben live up towards Lake of the Ozarks, and Andrea and Stephen live down by Fort Leonard Wood. So
Yeah, that's that's cool. I mean, it's nice that you have. See, all yours is in one state, but mine's scattered out in 2 or 3 different states.
yeah, yeah. That's why I wondered if you guys was just gonna like meet in the middle when you did your
Yeah.
celebration of your 5 years.
Um, I really couldn't tell you that, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I do know that me and Shasta was talking about the African American church I showed you a while ago.
Hmm. That'd
There's,
be interesting. That would be interesting, I think.
I'm gonna try to see who I can talk to get to go inside the building.
Hmm. Well,
There is
find out who's the caretaker of it.
there's a um, still got the piano inside of the church.
Now, it's not an active church. Nobody has church services in it. Okay.
And the piano went off over on the Phasma box that Shasta had that night.
Oh,
N-
wow.
Nobody knew that there was a piano in there except for me and her because we talked to the guy that took care of the grounds there. That
Uh-huh.
and he said, "Yeah, there's a still piano in there." I said, "Okay, cool." And
Yeah.
we did the cemetery first, and we walked right up the road because I parked the truck at the church, and we walked down to the cemetery because it wasn't about probably 2 second walk
Uh-huh.
across the road. And when we was walking back, Shasta, she was walking a little fast because we actually heard horses walking behind us, and they ain't nothing there behind us. We turned around and looked, and
Yep.
that's the first time I've seen her scared on an investigation.
Well, you just don't know. I mean, you hear a horse, you just don't know what it entails.
Yeah,
When we did the Kendrick's house, now, this for Global Ghost Hunt, um, there was a part of the house that the women used to go in under the house and hide when the riders would come in. It was during the
yeah,
Civil War.
yeah,
And Shelby brought his horses when he got there. At one time, it was both a Union hospital and a Confederate hospital
yeah,
at one time or another during the war. And when it was Union, or Confederate, Shelby brought it in, horses inside the house and into the parlor because he didn't want anybody to know that he was there.
yeah.
But not only that, if somebody would come in after him, he would be real close to his horse and could get to the horse and then get out of there, you
Hey,
know.
Wolf.
Hey, King. Um, but in that house, if there would have been something like I would have heard a horse or something, I would have thought, okay, something's wrong
Yeah,
because of that situation. You just don't know what you're dealing with. And it's just like last night when you was talking and you guys was talking about an asylums and you just don't know what you're walking into.
yeah,
And because of the reasons that the mental asylums and what kind of state of mind they're going to be in,
yeah,
uh, yeah, I understand that perfectly. I have worked with, my mom had Alzheimer's for 11 and a half years, and my dad had a brain stroke. And if I couldn't have took care of him and we kept him medicated where he was calm, uh, no, he did not, wasn't zombied out. He would get up and move around and just go without sleep for 2 days and just the whole 9 yards.
yeah.
But their mental state, but I found that they were very connected to the spirit world.
Yeah.
And I questioned if it, with my dad at first, I questioned if it wasn't like hallucination type of thing.
Yeah.
Um, but he started telling me some stuff that he had been told, and there's no way he knew it. There was no way because I kept him from finding out because I knew it would hurt him. and there was nothing he could done. His sister passed away, and my mom, she used to sing on the radio with her two sisters, and they all three played guitars. And one time I was walking through the dining room that I'm in right now, and I was walking right behind where I'm sitting. And I looked into the living room. My dad was just a patting his knee and just a humming. And I went out on the kitchen and I come back out and he was kind of singing. And then he said, I liked it when you girls would sing that song. And I thought, what in the world? And I walked in there and I said, who are you talking to, Dad? And he said, and he kind of, at me, and he pointed at the couch and he said, I'm talking to them, we're singing.
Hmm.
And I looked at him and he said, you don't see him, do you? And I said, no. And he said, it's your mom. And he pointed at one end of the couch. And he said, it's your Aunt June. And he pointed at the middle of the couch. And he said, and Bev. And after he did that, he turned and looked at me and he said, why didn't you tell me Bev died? And I
Hmm.
just stopped. And Aunt Bev had been dead for right at a year, but she lived in Iowa and Dad couldn't have went. He
Yeah.
just, you couldn't take him in a car. He tried to jump out, just
Yeah.
all kinds of stuff. And I told him, I said, Dad, there was nothing we could do. And I knew it would just upset you. So I just didn't tell you. And he smiled and he said, I know. He said, but he's told me, he said, just like Ruth. And I just stopped it because Ruth was his sister and Ruth had died like 3 weeks before this.
Yeah.
He said, she came and told me. He
Huh.
said, I know she's gone. So I know that he was communicating with
Yeah.
them. It wasn't hallucinating or what have you,
Yeah.
that he was communicating with them. So,
That's just like my grandma before she passed away. I remember her saying that my grandpa would come to her bed, stand at the foot of it every night. And I remember she's telling that right up to the day she died.
yeah, I can tell you a funny story. And the police, and there's 2 cops and 2 EMTs that would back me up on this.
Yeah.
My dad, after he had the stroke, he got to where he wasn't sleeping at all. He had insomnia really bad.
Yeah.
And he went for 4 days almost with no sleep. He threw himself on the floor one afternoon, tried to hang himself with his shirt.
Yeah.
Um, I contacted the doctor and I said, I'm taking him to the ER. And he said, yeah. And he said, you want me to call an ambulance? I said, if you would for me. So he called an ambulance. And I told Dad, I said, you need to get up. I said, I'm going to put your shoes on you. And he said, why? And I said, you haven't slept for 4 days. And he said, yeah. And I said, I didn't tell him I was taking him to the hospital. I said, I'm taking you to see the doctor. He's going to see if he can give you some medicine, cause you sleep so you'll feel better. And he just looked at me. Well, the stupid ambulance came with the siren going. And he heard it. And he said, I'm not going to the hospital. And I said, Dad, you got to go to the hospital. I said, doctor isn't even in his office. I called him. And
Yeah.
I said, he just said, take you to the ER and that he would come and see you in the morning. And he's, no. And just like a kid, no, I'm not going. I had gotten his shoes on him. They were slip-ons. And they came, I had told the doctor, tell him that the front door was unlocked. Just come on in. And they came in and they were standing there and Dad kicked off his shoes and beelined it for the bedroom. And he climbed up in the bed and he pulled the covers up under his chin. I ain't going and you can't make me, just like a little kid.
Yeah.
And I was like, Dad, and the cops and the EMTs was circling the bed. They was going to force him to get on the gurney.
Yeah.
And I said, Daddy, you got to go. And he, no, and you can't make me. I know, I don't have to go. And in mid-sentence, he just stopped and he looked at the foot of the bed and he said, okay, I'll do it. And he whips the covers back and everybody kind of looked at each other. And he said, I said, what? And he said, your mom. And he pointed at the foot of the bed.
Yeah.
He said, she told me I needed to shut up and listen to you, that you're trying to help me. He said, so I'm going to go, but I'm coming back home. And I said, yeah, you'll come back home. Well, he did. It was 8 days later, but he
Yeah.
did come home. But yeah, and the cops literally walked to the foot of the bed and was looking to see if they seen anything. So yeah, I know. And what I did for a living prior to taking care of my mom and dad was I took care of the terminally ill.
Yeah.
And I was with every one of my clients I did it for like 5 years when they passed away.
Yeah.
I worked along with hospice. I didn't work for hospice. I worked alongside of them.
Yeah.
And so and I have so many stories of just odd things. I went to take care of a woman, and I knew her and her husband, and he had died 2 years before she was bad. She had cancer, and they had separate bedrooms. But I had a baby monitor in her room when I would be in the kitchen doing something else in the house. And all of a sudden, she went to talking. Do you remember when we went on that fishing trip? And she just laughed. And all of a sudden, I heard his voice. And
Wow.
I went tearing down the hall, literally running down the hall. And I come and stuck my head in the door, was looking all around, hoping I could see something, you know. And she looked and she said, JD's here. I said, yeah, I know. And she said, we was talking about the fishing trip where he fell out of the boat into the water. And that's what she was laughing about.
Yeah.
And then there was one time, and this was like 3, 4 days before she passed away. She started kind of crying, and I heard her praying, and I was trying to get back there. And then all of a sudden, she just smiled and she said, I am so glad to hear that. And when I got to the door, she said, I'm glad to hear it. I am so glad to hear it. And she looked at me and she said, Jesus is here. Do you see him? And I said, no.
Yeah.
And she said, well, he's here. And he told me it was going to be okay, that Mama was waiting for me. And she was and she passed away 2 mornings later
Yeah.
after that. But yeah, I've experienced a lot of stuff with working with them and seeing and hearing a lot of things.
Yeah.
But yeah, the frame of mind when you work at a place, even your clinic, you just don't know what frame of mind they're in. You
Yeah.
know, Kendrick's house at one time was a sick house. There was a lot of pain. And well, it was a hospital. There was a table in the Kendrick's house that the armies did real fast surgeries, amputations, and everything on. There was blood on the table and everything there. Um, you just don't know what you're going to run into, you know. And we've
That.
got a really good EVP there. I'm sitting at the foot of the family bed, and I thought it was the female owner of the house that was there and wasn't getting any responses. And then I stopped and I said, well, are you a soldier? And it's as clear as day. You hear this male voice say, he's in the bed.
Oh.
And we heard it right then on the spot. And both Liz and I looked at each other. He's in the bed. You know? And prior to this happening, we had a cat ball on the bed and it had went off
Yeah.
a few times. Now it had went off a couple of times because my elbow had hit the foot of the bed, but
Yeah.
there was times that it had went off
That,
and
that's like at
but
the clinic. You don't know how many people have probably died there, especially like when it was a clinic and they delivered babies there. You know,
mm-hmm,
sometimes the parents might die, the mom might die, and the baby might die, or uh,
both both too. Sometimes that happened, you know.
and when it turned into a detox center, you know how many people had passed away when they tried to come off
Oh
detox.
gosh, yeah. And the frame of mind of people that's went through seizures and they don't pass away, but it really their brain is really messed with. They've had strokes and things and their mental stability is not good. So yeah, you just don't know what you're going to find, and the fact that it has been an asylum or a hospital like that, causes you need to be prepared because you just don't know. And just like your dad, he was affected. I had made a comment that he went quiet that one time because he had sat in that guy's chair, you know.
Yeah.
Uh, but you don't know what kind of mental frame of mind that spirit was in.
Yeah.
And with your dad doing the way that he had done, and then that last time, I believe it was the last time he was at the clinic, is when he was took downstairs and you kept him downstairs,
Yeah.
wasn't it? Yeah,
Yeah, that's when Rick bear hugged him and carried him down the steps, bear hugged. And
yeah,
they said he was up there just running around, just walking around in circles.
yeah, yeah. He
So,
was being affected, and the elderly are affected. And here I am, 64 years old, saying the elderly are affected.
yeah.
But yeah, and you're more open. And with age, I think you have experience enough to realize that there's stuff out there.
Yeah.
There
And
there is.
Native Wildman's got a question there for you.
Okay. Seen a phoenix. No, no, I haven't. Now I've had dreams of seeing a bird on fire, but I don't really honestly believe it was a phoenix. It was a smaller bird in a dream. I've had some really weird dreams, just some bizarre ones. I had to start putting crystals in my pillowcase, and looks like I froze up a little bit there. Okay, but anyway, because they were just too vivid, and some of
Yeah.
them had to do with kids, and it was just I couldn't handle it. So I started putting crystals in and told
Mhm.
God, look, I don't mind getting the dreams and passing anything on I need to, but let's keep the blood and gore down to a minimum. Okay.
Mhm.
I was able to handle it when I was younger, but not now.
Yeah.
It gets to me too much, especially if there's children involved.
Oh yeah.
It really does. But no, as far as the phoenix, I honestly do not. I've never seen one that I know I have anyway. Let's put it that way. But I do remember a dream of a bird being on fire, and if I remember correctly, I thought it was a dove in the dream. It was several years ago.
Well, I'm gonna hate to say this, but we're gonna have to be getting off of here. It's already 10 o'clock. Uh,
All righty. Yeah, you got to go to work tomorrow, don't you?
yeah. I appreciate you coming on, Vicky. Thank you so much for
All
popping.
right. There's no problem. I just wished I'd looked at her better. But yeah,
Uh,
no problem.
we'll get you scheduled again for your group if you want to, and get everybody on.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
let me know when y'all are.
When Liz gets her equipment up, I told her she needed to call you and have you get on her
Yeah,
podcast.
I will. We will try to get y'all scheduled again and everything. So I hate
Okay.
to, and I do love listening to your stories. And if you can, we'll come back on again and talk to you about your stories again. Uh,
Okay.
if anybody wants to come up on the thing and talk about the paranormal experiences, I will. I am taking you, scheduling your name down in the book. It'll be on Sunday nights at 9 p.m. If you're interested, just send me a Facebook text or a email, and I'll get back with you within a day or so. Uh, yeah, it's just been a different world when you get into the paranormal. It's a lot
Mm-hmm.
lot to deal with, and what I tell most people when they ask me about wanting to get into the paranormal is that I always tell them, say, hey, look, you better make sure you want to do this first. Don't
Yep,
jump in.
that's what I said. Tell them make sure that's what they want to do and test it out, and don't just jump in and start spending a lot of money on stuff until you're sure.
I told them, I
You
said,
know.
just go and read about it. Get you a couple books and read about the different types of the spirits, different
Hmm.
and stuff. Learn a little bit before you just jump right in there.
Yeah,
And
you need to also tell them there ain't
once,
as many demons as there's a lot of people that claim there
yeah,
is. You know.
I said, you can turn them into demons now when you make them mad, and
Angry, yeah,
it,
but
it,
that's more of an angry spirit. There's a
it,
difference between a demon and an angry spirit, let me tell you.
said, now if you get somebody and start making them mad, now I said, now
Yeah.
that's they go crazy on you every once in a while.
Yeah, that's something I will not allow as far as group rules is
Yeah,
anybody to provoke. Yeah,
yeah.
anybody provokes, they're gone.
I've
It's
got
just it.
I made up a set of rules for us. I think I got 18 or 19, 20 rules for my
Hmm.
group. So and plus they are on probation. We got a
Yeah,
6 months and a 9 months probation. Just according on the way I feel. If
you
I
go a
any
little longer than me. You go a little longer than me. We do like 3 months, and we can pretty much know in 3 months. You know,
if I
unless something comes up and we don't get to investigate very much with them. You
if I
know.
get a feeling when I'm talking to them in interview and I get a feeling that I don't know about this character, you can go on
Yeah.
9 months. And if I talk to them and I get this feeling that they want to do it, they want to be
Hmm.
there to help the group out. Yeah,
Hmm.
I'll give them 3 to 6 months. But if I
Yeah.
have a feeling that they ain't gonna, they're just there just for the name of it and don't care about anything else and try to get
Hmm.
something done or faking something other, that's
Yeah.
from 9 months to a year. Then that's I kick them out. Then they won't be on TV, they won't be on camera or nothing.
Yeah.
They'll
Yeah.
be.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. Totally. I do.
I'm not gonna put them out there like that. So
Yeah. Well, you can't afford it because it affects the group. It
yeah,
how the group is looked at, you know.
and I
Yeah.
also did go through past experience. I do have what we call a strike zone. Different types of strikes. You get so many strikes,
Mm.
you're out automatically. No matter if you're on probation or
Yeah,
not.
well, let me tell you, that soldier was on a strike zone. Let me tell you, he was, he was, and if he'd gotten over three strikes, I would have been using a bat on him. Let me tell you, man, it was bad. It was pushing my buttons, but
Yeah,
yeah, and I'm not that way. You can ask anybody in the group, even if somebody has made me mad. I don't usually react the way that I did with him, and I kind of felt bad, but yet I had done talked to him several times about stuff, and he just continually did what he wanted. And he was putting the group at risk because, we was in a business when he did this.
yeah,
That woman could have come out and said, I want you gone, you know. And that turned out to be a really interesting investigation.
yeah,
But she could have made us leave, and she was a well-known person, and she would have said, hey, don't do this.
yeah,
Don't let them come around. Don't do, she wouldn't have recommended us or anything as something like that if she was that way. And fortunately, she wasn't. And she did see how I handled it. And
yeah,
her and I talked about it. But still, and that little girl, that was taking a heck of a chance. She was just crying when I went up there. She was scared to death because it was dark. When I talked to her the first time, it was still daylight. So she didn't have all that fear. And he took her in a dark room and had her lay in the bed and all this. I just lost my crap on here, you know.
yeah. You
And
got
then about 30 minutes later is when the cops showed up.
you can't put somebody's life in jeopardy like that.
Yeah, well, it's traumatic. That little girl was traumatized. And see, she didn't have her mom. When
Yeah,
I took her back, her mom was with her.
yeah,
He just came and got her, and they thought that I had told him to do it. So
yeah,
they thought, okay, well, she's with it. No, it was just him.
yeah,
And that was another thing. He was supposed to have been with another guy, but the other guy wouldn't do it. Instead of coming telling me he was doing it, he just went into another room next door.
yeah.
So, yeah. But anyway, John, no, I think the show was good tonight. It wasn't, as far as my stories and stuff was not that fantastic, but
Yeah,
how
it,
everybody, we can kind of tell each other what we've got going on and what they can look forward to. And
yeah,
when the weather gets warmer, there'll be a lot more going on.
yeah. It's this snow's got us slowed down now, so we might go out Wednesday, we might not. I don't know. It's going to be down really cold, so it's according on how cold it's going to get before we go back out.
Yeah, well, the weather got so bad here. We had all the ice, and my son said, "Mom, what would you do if they uh, called and or no, it was somebody else had said to me, what would you do if they called and told you they wanted you to come in? They was going to do your surgery early." I said, "I don't care if I had to hire a dog sled. I would be there. Let me tell you, because I am ready for this hip surgery. Get it over with. I am just done with it, waiting for it." But anyway, no, it's the weather is really working on us. And like I said, if we'd tried to do the investigation, I wouldn't have had Liz or Ruben, and he's tech man. So
Yeah.
he's the one that sets the cameras and stuff up. I could have done it, but it's been so long. And not only that, he's got the cameras.
Yeah.
So there you go. So I've got the other parts of the equipment, but most of them anyway. But yeah, he's
That
got our cameras and everything with him. So
that's that's the way that's the way we like to do when my dad's got a few things, but I got the most stuff here at my house. I got the cameras, DVR system, all the hookup stuff outside in the truck. Uh,
hmm
I keep them ready at all times, and I got my stuff. Most time, I'll just use all my stuff, and that way we don't lose half of everything we've got.
or it don't get mixed in with everybody else's. Yeah. Now Andrea's got her own equipment and certain things, and Liz and Ruben have a little bit, but he handles the our main static cameras
Yeah,
because that's the kind of line of work he's into. And he does data recovery, and he works with security systems and cameras and stuff. And so he just kind of is in charge of those cameras.
yeah,
And
yeah.
but hopefully with this business, once we do get it investigated, it's going to be an interesting investigate.
Oh yeah,
But we can do kind of like what Jason had said the other night is just edit your video where nobody will know what it is. The problem is where this business is, I think anybody that's been in it will recognize it
yeah,
from the inside, but maybe I can darken it up and you know, go through and edit, or maybe just take bits and pieces of it, you know, and put it out so people can see it because it's definitely an interesting situation going on.
yeah.
So, but anyway, well, I will, I guess, when's your next show? Wednesday?
Uh, I don't know if I do Wednesday or maybe Thursday. I'm not really sure yet. I know I'll be going live in the in the morning and Tuesday morning. Then
Mm-hmm.
maybe sometime around lunchtime on Wednesday. I don't know yet.
Okay.
It's
All
just
right. Well, I just didn't know if you was still going to do your Wednesday shows or not, like you was. I knew you was still doing your Sundays, but
yeah. I'm trying to do a new show. I'm trying to do a new channel, new show,
mm-hmm.
just
Yeah.
for paranormal experiences, for a safe show where anybody can tell their story with no judgmental and stuff like that.
Right. Right.
But
Yep.
that's what I'm planning on. I am doing that with Jessica SMC. She's going to be the co-host with me.
Good. Good deal. That's good. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah,
I don't think I've seen Jessica. I mean, I've seen her in chat and
yeah.
that kind of stuff, but I
She
don't think.
does. She does crocheting and
Okay,
stuff.
you know what? I probably have then, because I have went in at different times when I've gotten notifications and stuff. So I'll have to go back and trigger my memory on who was who.
Yeah, she does
But
crocheting and stuff like that, and
mm,
she's going to be helping me behind the scenes and stuff. If
oh,
somebody
good.
needs help with something there, she can look it up right quick. She's faster than I am, so I'm more than tickled that she's going to help me with all this, and she's going to help
Well,
me do
good.
giveaways and stuff like that.
Okay, good. Good deal. All right. Well, I'm glad to hear it. But yeah, it's going on 9:30 here, so it's got to be 10:30 there.
Yeah,
So
I'm getting ready to get into bed.
I was going to say, John, you're going to be getting up in what, 4 hours?
Yeah, that's going to be about 4 hours.
All righty.
So y'all have a wonderful, blessed day, and I hope to have you back on again soon.
All
You,
righty.
anybody in your group, you're always welcome here. That's for sure. You're always welcome. And
Okay.
everybody that wants, like I said, if anybody wants to come and be a guest, let me know, and I will schedule you down on a date that you're interested in. And if I got that date booked, we'll book another date. So it's all
All
gonna be.
righty.
So thank y'all so much for being here. Y'all have a wonderful, blessed night, and try to stay warm. And I will see y'all on the next one, everybody. Hey,
All right.
later.